Hi everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Today is August 29th, 2018. Please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. And let's get on with it. So, what am I talking about here? I'm trying to get you guys to wake up and to see things as they are, to have more of a macro view. And so, we're going to be covering things like the collapse, crap coins that are out there, and just how it's really time to get serious about things, the crypto market and other things that are out there, to have a real perspective. And a lot of my viewers already do. I really have the greatest viewers in the world, and I cannot thank you guys enough to really. I have really great viewers. Anyway, so let's get on to this little rant that I have. It's not quite a rant, but we're going to first take a look at VET/USDT. And this is on the logarithmic chart, and I have it on the daily scale right now. Now, VET is Vechain, and in Chinese, V means the only chain. And so this is going to piss a lot of people off, but that's okay. It's time to get real, right? It's time to get serious. It's time to see what's going on. So we have VET here. And what happened, it used to be VEN, V-E-N, right? And then it had the token switch where it got off the Ethereum platform and went on to its own platform. And that's great. And there was that 1 to 100. So we got 100 tokens of VET for each VEN token, right? And that happened, and here is what's left of the chart. So it started back up here, and it took a big nosedive, like a lot of things at this time, right? Things were going down for quite a while, total bear. But what it did is created this nice V pattern, and wham, notice how it drastically shot up. Now, a lot of other coins did this as well, but not just Vechain. But Vechain is still continuously to climb. As we can see, my little line here, this is basically the direction of where I think it's going. And keep in mind, this is just my opinion, right? Anyway, we have VEN going up here. So what is VEN? What is Vechain? Vechain Thor. If you didn't know what the Thor was, what it is it's like a gas. It's a cost to do a transaction. And within the transaction, they call them clauses. And so within a clause, you can have multiple clauses within a transaction. And you can see this if you go to vforge.com. You can go over to their Explorer thing right here, and you can see how many transactions they've had. So right now, they had a few test little onboarding things with some data transfers going on here. Almost 300,000 total transactions so far, with a little bit over 500,000 clauses. And that's really great. And when a clause gets generated, that's when Thor actually gets burned, and 30% of that gets redistributed back to the holders of VEN. You do not have to be a node holder to get Thor. If you have one VEN, you can get Thor, okay? It's not going to be much, but you earn Thor. Nevertheless, this stuff here, they have Vechain has so many customers lined up that it's really pathetic. They have, and these are corporate customers. What they have coming out is, like September 5th, maybe the 15th. By that time, we'll hear an announcement of a Fortune 500 auto manufacturer that is on board with Vechain, and that is from the AMA that Sunny Liu had, or Young Liu had. And you can check out the link and watch that AMA. I have the link below. Check that out. He said that. There's also, there is so much to talk about Vechain. It's difficult to cover in one thing. Do your research. Check out Vechain. Now, Vechain, in my opinion, is, well, not the only coin, but as far as businesses goes, real enterprise use for businesses actually using it, that is, in my opinion, it is like far ahead of all the rest of the coins out there. And that is just me. So let's go take a look once again at Vechain, and that's on the daily. Let's go look at the 4 hours, see what's going on, okay? And right now, yeah, it's going up and it's trading. And so, yeah, you know, do your own charting on that. I don't really look too much at charting. I use it as a tool of, okay, where do I think it's going to go? I really don't pay attention to like the past thing as far as like, you know, previous support and this and that. I look more like at market trends, so it's more of a Wackovian point of view. You know, that's just me, and I'm very fundamental as far as things go. But anyway, I like Vechain. I think it has a long way to go. We're looking at a lot of the customers coming on board, being onboarded. Hopefully they'll start getting announced, all of their authority nodes. Those are like the big guys, the 101 nodes that they have, and so we'll see. Okay, so that is Ven. Check them out. I like them. I've talked about, I have a lot of videos on Vechain. Okay, so what else? This is like going to be the coin for corporate use. That's all there is to it. It is the coin for corporate use. They have the customers lined up, and they have a whole bunch trying to get on board. Okay, that's just it. All the other, well, not all, but a lot of the other coins are making their product, and then they're hoping to get customers on board. Vechain already has the customers. They say, hey, you know, we want to get on board. And so they'll take a look. Oh, do you have a use case? Yeah. Okay. So we'll help you out. We'll design something and have a use case because somebody else in your sector could use it, and wham, there it goes. That's their philosophy. They have the customers first, and then they create something that the customer needs that they'll actually use. Okay, so actually using, that brings me to something else that a coin that I used to really love, and it's done really, it really has done greatness for the market. That's all I can say. It's really done great, but right now it's sucking wind pretty bad, and that is Ethereum. And Ethereum is a ship without a captain, to say the least. It is a ship without a captain. And as far as an Ethereum killer, people talk about, oh, an Ethereum killer, you know, what's going to be the next Ethereum killer? Is it going to be Ontology, or is it going to be Icon, whatever? No, the next Ethereum killer is going to be Ethereum itself. And that's because of the number of transactions that it has. It also has to deal with the number, the number of transactions that can actually sustain. Also, what we have coming up is that all those ICOs, they're all coming on board, and they're going to be taxing the system quite a bit. And lo and behold, we might see if Ethereum doesn't get their act together and get their technology straight and squared away, we could see that the more and more dApps that come on board, the slower and clogged the system will become to where it becomes unusable. And this will be a really bad thing. It might not become unusable. It might become extremely expensive to use, which would basically mean that, okay, well, if I'm going to run this transaction, it's going to cost me a whole bunch of money. I don't think that I'm going to really use it. And there was a thing on here, StellarX, I believe, had a pretty good write-up on why they're getting off of why they chose Stellar, basically. I gotta find it. Anyway, they did have a write-up that really Ethereum. Yeah, I gotta see if that works. Anyway, I got to do that, and I'll put that in a separate video, okay? Right now I'm live. But there was a big write-up from StellarX where they actually went in and looked at it and tried to make transactions, and it covered the amount of cost that it was. And it was basically, when I was reading that, it's like, man, you know, if I was a business And I knew that it was going to cost me more and more and more for transactions. That, you know, how can you run a business like that? There's nothing that you can plan on. You can't plan on your expense, and then things can get more and more expensive. And so there's a whole bunch of coins out there, not a whole bunch, but there's, you know, a bunch of coins out there that are like that. The more you use it, the higher the transaction fee, the actual amount for using it is going to be. There are coins out there where the transaction fee is negligible. And, you know, so you can look at Ven. Ven, there's cost, okay? There's some cost, but it's could be managed. It's okay. That's a whole other video on Thor and how that works. But we have EOS that's out there, and they have supposedly low costs, although they do have a RAM thing that just hit. This just came out here. EOS searches for a solution as RAM exploit plagues users. Oh yay, oh yay. Let me go ahead and put that into the chat box here, and you can look at that later. I'm going to go ahead and paste it. I'm not going to read it here. Let me go. Hey everyone. Glad to see you guys on the chat. Wham. There's the thing for this article from CNN about EOS, how the RAM thing usage really sucks. And I usually don't talk about EOS, but, you know, best of luck to all those EOS holders out there, really. I don't like to see people get hurt or injured or anything like this. But one thing about this is that, what is this quote in here? Let me look and see. Okay, so developers have identified a smart contract bug that allows malicious content authors to effectively consume network resources owned by other users. Yeah. Yeah, tell me what you think about that. And here's the thing from Dan Larimer. I can imagine that, you know, he's, you know, not delighted. But it says the exploit takes advantage of a mismatch between the intent, notice the intent of the users and the actual effect of the code. Well, intent, come on, guys. People are going to take advantage of anything to try to make money any way they can. And so in the code, there needs to be some type of safeguards where there are no advantages like that. It has to be like it is. It's I don't know. To me, this is short-sightedness. That's you know, tell me what you think about this in the chat. I really don't talk about EOS, and yeah, I'm just going to kill that right now. Anyway, so what else is going on? So we have Ether. Ether's just taking a dump. It's a ship without a captain, more or less. It just, I don't know. It just needs to grow up. It has done a tremendous amount of good for the crypto market. That is without a doubt. But its days, I just don't know about its future days. Now let's take a look at this. I had a chart drawn. I think I did it on the Bittrex. Yeah, I did. Okay, so if we're looking at the price action of ETH, if we go ahead and draw these lines here, if you're in the TA and stuff, what do we have? Well, we have a, well, let me scroll out a bit. Come on, thing. Come on. Let's go to the day. Maybe that'll work better. Okay. So I was looking at this thing and thinking, okay, let's try to find something positive for Ether. Okay, so if I take a line and I draw it this way, and it's like, oops, that sucks because of this part over here. So that line is broke, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, what if we don't be so aggressive and move it to these 2 points right here? Oh, same damn thing, right? Boom, still taking a dump. Okay, what else? What other way can we do it? Well, let's take an average of these lines here. Oh, still sucks. Okay, fine. So it's no longer pointing up that way. It points down this way, which is bear. Big time bear. So also the lines pointing, the direction that they're going down, finding the tops here, right? That's declining. This is declining. But one thing, when it declines like this, what happens... sometimes, not all the time, but what happens is sometimes it goes and goes like that, and then it could jump out, right? because things go down and it jumps up. So we could be looking at something like that for Ether as far as price wise for the short to mid term. Long term, I don't like it, and that's just me. For the very long term, it has way too much competition. The fundamentals have basically changed, and everything, in my opinion, changed right around this point, and this includes for Bitcoin as well. So this big old line here that I just drew, at the bottom of this, wham, that's when things really changed. The market changed, and we started getting all those box pattern, those Bart Simpson heads in Bitcoin, etc. So this hit Ethereum as well. Yeah, but Ethereum does have an interesting pattern where it is going down, and it could be going flat a bit and then could shoot up. We'll see. I mean, the thing could just continue to dump because of the massive amount of competition that it's having or going to have from Vechain, and also actually EOS is a pretty big competitor. Plus EOS has a bank load of Ether that it still needs to dump. That's another thing. We still have a lot of those ICOs that are holding on to Ether, and because this price is still low, they need to cash in Ether to pay for their operations. They have to pay for their employees. They have to pay for rent. They have to pay for this. They have to pay for that. And that usually has to be paid for in fiat. And so what they have to do is that they have to cash out their Ether. Well, when it's way up here at 1400, great, no problem. But now it's like at 288. So they're going to have to cash in, instead of one coin to make that up, they're going to have to cash in, 4 or 5 coins. And so they're going to have to spend a lot more of their coins than they wanted to. And we saw a little bit of that right here, that big dump, where some actually had to cash out to give themselves liquidity. Yeah, so we'll just see what's going on with ETH. It does have an interesting chart because it's going down, and it looks like, yeah, it could go down a little bit, and then, you know, we're having that spring action going up. Okay, and then let's just take a quick look at Bitcoin, see what it's doing. And nothing right there because I typed in the wrong thing. BTCUSDT. And I like Bittrex because of the longer chart. And no, I don't. Maybe I did this on Binance. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so BTC, it's let me just get out my little pen here. What we see going on here is basically you have a line going down here, and then we have a leveling off effect going on. Okay, right? And then we're just now, let me get rid of that. And right here, we're just having the line effect starting to go up. So what is that forming is basically, let me scroll out here, something like that, where it's going to go up. So BTC, and keep in mind, this is long term that I'm seeing. If we go look at, let's go look at Bitfinex again, BTC USD. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so long term, if we look at it, here we go. Goes down like this, kind of takes a little break. Yeah, there's some ups and downs, no biggies, but overall long-term projection, zoop, boom. And that is the based off of, you know, this is a general overall growth trend that I see. And a lot of people have seen it. And there's some people that have that really think that Bitcoin is going to dump, and I think well, good luck to you guys if you think it's going to dump hard. And by dumping hard, I'm seeing some stuff where, oh, it's going to come down here. Oh, it's going to come down here. You know, BS. Bitcoin, what has changed with Bitcoin? Right here on this line again, in this area, the market has changed. This stuff in the back, all this crap, basically be erased because there's a whole bunch of different players. The players that are here are still here. A lot of the weak hands and stuff have already been shaken out, but the players that were in it back before, compared, size-wise, compared to the players that are in it now, the institutions and stuff, we can't hold a candle to them. And so everything is pretty much driven by them. And they can make the market go however they want, and that is what the Bart Simpson's heads are. They make it go however they want. And if you see my previous videos, I talked about how the institutions are gearing up so they can have their own trading desks, so they can and have all these other financial services and stuff based on Bitcoin, and that's where they're going to make their money. And right now, this is just an accumulation phase. If you're into Wyckoff, this is just one big ass accumulation phase, where they're buying as much Bitcoin as they can. Also, their attempt is to have a stable price discovery, which is right around a 6,000 area low. So that's pretty much what they're doing. They need to have a price discovery that's pretty much set, that can be proven on a chart, because people think charts prove something. Yeah, right. And so they are gearing up for the market. Also, another reason why I think that Bitcoin is going to continue this growth long term. Short term it could dump, right? It could even dump long term. Okay, just my opinion of why I think it's still going to increase long term. And by increase, let me take the auto thing off here so I can bring it down. Little trick for you guys if you didn't know that. What I mean by long term, so let me get my little pen out here, is, so yeah, we could have something like this if you're into Elliott waves, right? Boom. Way up. So it looks similar to, get out of there thing. Get the auto thing back on. There we go. So we could look at a similar growth pattern as it was from here to here, boom, and now up. And so we could be looking at another thing like that. So that's Bitcoin. That's my general overall view of Bitcoin. As far as all these doom and gloomers, yeah, good luck to you guys. Shorts, keep in mind that the shorts and stuff like that, in order for this price stabilization to occur, to get the institutional investors in and the other well, let's just call them the big buyers in, okay? These shorts are, in my opinion, they're just going to get wrecked. And I had a little box here, boom, it's going down. And then where do I think this is going? They need to get wrecked, because what they're doing is that they want to cause pain. They want to cause pain, not only pain, but to get the gamblers out of the market. To get the gamblers out of the market and to have a fairly stable trading environment for their clients. We really don't count. But with all these shorts going up and down and stuff like that, that increases the volatility, and it is just an opportunity for them to go in and tame the market, okay? Tame the market. The amount of money that it costs for them to tame the market is nothing for them at this point in time. What they're looking for is huge gains. They want the billions and billions of dollars worth of profit that they'll get from the trades, not from the trading fees, not from the actual Bitcoin that they have. That's not where they're going to get the huge gains. If they get some, that's just gravy. Also, another thing that that you can look to see is a drying up of the OTC amounts of Bitcoin. And when that happens, if the OTC amounts dry up, man, yeah, let me go BTC USD Bitfinex. Yeah, if the OTC market, which is like just like storming right now, it is just cranking. How do you think that's going to affect the market when all of a sudden, oh, there's no more OTCs or the people that have all these thousands and thousands and thousands of Bitcoin, we can no longer buy it privately. We're going to have to purchase our Bitcoin on a market. Oh my gosh, what do you think is going to happen to the price? You tell me. You tell me. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. And so for me, Bitcoin, I like it. I'm bearish. Excuse me. I am bullish long term. And that's just me. It's not financial advice, okay? That is for sure. But I like BTC. I also love Ven. Other things I really like real quick. And I know I'll get some flack for this. But we have XRP. XRP sucking wind. It's been getting a lot of FUD. It's been really quiet. It's got a little bit of a bump here. And so we'll see what happens. But to me, this whole area where it's flat, it's building up steam. And we can just look forward to XRP stuff. Also, I believe that there's supposed to be like a central bank that has been, that will be, supposedly will be announced sometime this year. So we'll see. Another thing where that's supposed to happen is XLM. And these two guys, I mean, yeah, XLM. So, I mean, look at that. XLM looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? And this is on the daily chart. Yeah, tell me what your opinions are of XLM. Where do you think it's going? I really like it. You can think of XLM as being a competitor somewhat to XRP. XRP is more in the actual banking phase of things, and that's its realm. XLM is in the banking things. Think of IBM. And who do the banks use for their computer systems? IBM, especially the larger ones, the central banks, the clearing banks, etc. So I'm looking for good things to happen with XLM in the future. We'll see. They also have that stronghold that's coming up, which will be a backed stable coin, and that will really be interesting to see what happens when that gets going with the Tether market. Very, very interesting things coming on, but I see a lot of good stuff coming down the road for XLM and XRP. As far as like taking sides on coins, it's like a team. Well, my team is going to win the super, the super crypto bowl or whatever. BS to that. It's about, how much you guys win and how much can you safeguard your funds so you don't have a big dump like this and go to, so you don't get wrecked and stuff. And so it's also important to know when to get in and when to get out. But XLM, I like as a serious coin. It has some serious backing. It is an ORG, an organization. It's a nonprofit. XRP is a nonprofit too, but well, no, it's not a nonprofit. Let's put it that way. It is a for-profit, XRP is. But both of them have a lot of clients, which is important. Vet has just a ton of clients, customers, and we're all just kind of waiting for everything to be announced on these coins. And let's see what else is going on. There's also stuff like on a banking collapse that people talk about. Okay, let's say the Federal Reserve crashes. Well, the United States has something special in its back pocket, which really won't make that a big deal. It's called the U.S. Treasury. Okay, it's called the U.S. Treasury. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, the bankings are going, the banks are going to collapse, and that's why we have Bitcoin and all this and that." And that is not the reason. That is in my opinion, a pipe dream for a lot of people because think about it. You have a banking collapse. How are we going to get money? Oh, well, we're going to use Bitcoin. Yeah, well, if you don't have fiat out there, how's the guy at the power plant going to want to go to work? Who's going to pay him? How is he going to get paid? There's not going to be electricity, guys. And without electricity, you're not going to have computers and you're not going to have the internet. And without the internet, you're not going to have Bitcoin. So as far as being a total apocalyptic collapse of the banking system, get real. Come on. Get real. I'm tired of hearing this utter bullshit crap from a bunch of YouTubers, and they have no clue. And I know some of them are very popular, but it's like, dude, come on, get real. And let's say that, yeah, okay, JP Morgan goes down. What's going to happen? Oh my gosh, they have a shitload of silver that they're going to try to sell. So what happens now? Well, when they try to sell all their silver, the price of silver is going to tank. It's, you know, come on, keep this. And they're talking. You guys might know who I'm talking about, okay? I don't mean to pick on certain individuals or anything like that, but this is, what is this guy's name I'm trying to think of? He's not a YouTuber per se, like in crypto, but he always talks about banking collapses, and lo and behold, his business is where it's like he sells silver coins. I gotta think of his name. If you could think of it, he's been on some crypto shows, and he's been on a lot of, I think it's been on Alex Jones and stuff like that. But you know, all these doom and gloomers, come on. The future is so bright. It is so bright out there, especially for cryptocurrencies. It is absolutely huge. Oh, here's something that just came up. You can now trade multiple cryptocurrencies on Yahoo Finance. Ooh, let's go take a look at that real quick. When we're just talking about things being bright, lo and behold, here you go. Come on, little thing. What is this? Investors can now buy and sell multiple cryptocurrencies directly on Yahoo Finance, the popular finance platform that previously focused solely on traditional Forex and capital markets. Yay! Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So that's like good news. I mean, it is. The future of this market is just awesome. And one thing to keep in mind is, okay, fine, so you're making all this money. Great, crypto's wonderful. But what else is awesome out there? Let me make sure I talked about what I want to talk about. Oh yeah, Ocean X. Ocean X is coming up for, it's an exchange, or going to be an exchange. And it's going to be catering to institutional trading. It's in the VET ecosystem. It's going to have supposedly an on-off ramp with fiat. Same as StellarX is an on-ramp, off-ramp for fiat. So we'll see what happens. That's going to be Stronghold, actually. Stronghold, excuse me, is going to be an on-off ramp for with fiat. Okay, so anyway, I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but anyway, this next one is a WTF, man. Okay, it is a WTF, where there's more to life than crypto. I know. Don't yell at me, okay? There is more to life than crypto. And expand your horizons. And here is something that I am talking about, LMT. If you bring up LMT on TradingView, boom, okay, there's LMT, okay? And look, it's a chart, right? You're familiar looking at charts. And you can see it's support here. It took a big drop. It looks like it just went down to its secondary test, which is going to be a spring if you're into Wyckoff, and then what happens after a spring goes zoop. So we'll see, but this is a short-term view. This is on a daily view. Let's scroll out here. And for this, let's go ahead and go to the weekly view. Okay, well, that's great. Let's go to the monthly view. Look at that. Look at that chart, guys. Look how long that sucker has been going up. And what is LMT? LMT is LockheedMartin. And if you haven't gotten a financial advisor yet, you know, go get one. Explore these other things that are out there. Look at stuff like LMT. And this chart goes right now, this is back like in, this is 97 where the cursor is. Yeah, it took a big dump here. That's 99, okay? But from basically 2000, from the year 2000, it has been growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And this little blip here, that's like nothing, right? People are all scared. This is like, almost like how we can see Bitcoin. A little blip. That's where we're at now. A little blip with the, we had our 20,000 mark and then it went down. But man, in the overall, if you take a higher level view, you can just look at this. It's similar to Bitcoin in a way. But if you do a little chart, okay, let's say it goes up 1, 2, 3. Boom. It's just, it's just going up, in my opinion. And yeah, they have some other stuff going on, but check out LockheedMartin. Check out, get financial advice. Do not listen to me. Don't listen to like YouTubers out there. You know the drill, okay? None of this is financial advice. We're just giving our own opinions and we're just talking off the top of our head. But what is LockheedMartin doing and why am I bringing that up? Well, they have like the Black Hawk helicopters and this and that. But if you've been paying attention to anything in the news, you've heard about how Trump wants to go out to space and to visit Mars. And lo and behold, who do you think is going to help the U.S. actually do that? It is going to be LockheedMartin. It's going to be LockheedMartin. It's going to be Roar. It's going to be General Dynamics. It's going to be Cubic. It's going to be this and that. Anyway, the space thing for the new Space Force, like the Air Force, the Navy or whatever, the Space Force, that's going to be absolutely huge. So you might want to look into that and talk to a financial advisor. Get your finances squared away to where I think it's more of a long-term view. And this is for people that aren't looking for Lambos, okay? This is longer term stuff. Lambos are an expense. They cost you money. They cost you a lot in insurance and they suck up gas like a mother. And fun to drive, yeah. But that's after everything else is squared away, you go buy a toy. Anyway, I'm not looking at toys. I'm looking for assets, something that's going to continuously generate money. Look into real estate, look into this and that. Explore your horizons just beyond crypto. Go talk to a financial advisor. That's the best thing I can say. Go talk to a CPA. Go talk to a certified accountant. Get your finances in order and get a game plan together and go forward with that. Because there's more out there than crypto, even though crypto I love. I absolutely love crypto. So anyway, that is just pretty much a rant on a lot of the BS that I am just tired of hearing. I'm tired of these short-term, one-day scalpers getting people excited about how all of a sudden there's like a 1% move or maybe 100% move. Whoop-de-doo. And then it goes down right away. But I mean, look at Lockheed's thing. Boom, zoop, and this is 18 years of growth. Okay, there's more things out there like that. You check out Apple stock, blah 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 blah, whatever. Go get financial advice. That's the big thing. Anyway, let's see if somebody's in the chat. I'll answer some chat questions if there are any. If not, I'll check out. Let's see. Here we go. So, hey everyone to the chat. Thanks for getting on. Appreciate it. Manon Hawk first. Yay! Congratulations, Manon. I hope that's how you say it. Okay. Hi, love your show. Vechain all the way. Yeah, Vechain is the only chain. So what do I mean by that? Okay. Let me get rid of this. For enterprise, business, we have VET, okay? This is for corporations doing their day-to-day stuff like manufacturing, etc., okay? And then we also have the automotive they're big into. Don't forget about their Mustang chain. That has real interesting things. And if you want to see where Mustang chain can go, check out this site. You might not know. drf.com. Okay, and what are horses? Horses are the toys that the rich people own. They're their little toys, if you want to say that. Also a great sport of kings, so they say. Saratoga, I'll be darned. Anyway, these guys, all these horses, when they run in a race, it keeps track of like the quarter of the mile. It like breaks up the race length in the quarters basically, and it takes the time and their position, and that all goes into a database. It takes whether they can have, if they've been given drugs like Lasix or whatever that helps with the bleeding in their throat. Some horses bleed in their throat, and I love horses. Oh, Del Mar. If you haven't been to Del Mar in the summer, go. It is like a great vacation thing, and it's right off of the beach, and it's a great thing to go. Just to go see the track. That was a Jimmy Durante and Bing Crosby thing. Yeah, back in the day at Old Del Mar. Anyway, great place to visit during the summer, and then San Diego's a few miles south, so you can go hit up the zoo and stuff like that. Great summer vacation. Anyway, DRF.com, they have a database, and I believe the database is Equifax. Horse or Equinfax horse Equibase, excuse me, Equibase, as in equine. Anyway, and this would be a potential customer or client for Mustang Chain. Wouldn't that be totally awesome? So way in the future, if they ever get hooked up with these guys, man, that's totally huge, because these guys are Europe as well as US. Okay. Anyway, Vechain all the way. So back to the little thing on this. Yeah, Vechain, manufacturing, automotive. They have Mustang Chain platforms. They have Ocean X, going to be a huge exchange, going to be the top exchange in my opinion, which is going to beat out that Circle thing that's coming up that we haven't seen, which is going to be huge. And then, yeah, we're going to have Binance. But I think Ocean X is going to make a huge deal, and just really super duper exciting things. Okay, so that's the enterprise thing. And yeah, then you're going to have other coins out there that do pick up some of the other stuff, but Vechain by far and away is way ahead of the game, in my opinion. And then what do we have? We have the banking sector. And for those in the lead, I think it's going to be XLM and then XRP. Okay, so this one is like the banks themselves, and then this is, think of it as the banks for the people with all the direct person-to-person payments, etc. like that. Okay, so that'll be another sector. And then also you have up here entertainment. Entertainment. Fuck it. Just call it gaming. Games. And so Vechain could also be with its ICOs that are coming on board with games. And if you didn't know, the gaming sector has surpassed the movie industry as a whole. Okay, it did that a couple years back. Games are absolutely huge. Yeah, they might seem ridiculous or whatever, but man, they're huge. So we have Vechain way out. I mean, Vechain is a big sector. We have the banking sector going to be XLM, mainly because of IBM. And what other sectors out there? We have healthcare, right? Healthcare is huge out there. That could help with that. There's also some other coins. One coin that I haven't spoke about in a long time. I haven't even checked up on them. And that is, what are they? Gosh, I haven't checked up on them. Anyway, look for some stuff coming in healthcare and just other general overall broad things. Also space. Space is going to be a big thing, and that's why I brought up LockheedMartin. I think there's also a coin out there where they have a little rocket that can go and launch some type of micro satellites and stuff, which is pretty cool. And I got to take a look at that. Anyway, Vechain by far, it's it for businesses. These are like tons of customers and stuff. Okay, enough on that. Let's get back to the questions. Vechain all the way. Oh yeah. Hey Kingslayer, good to see you. Okay, ETH. Okay, question here. ETH will lose its second spot. Yeah, ETH is going to lose its second spot, I think. I actually think VET is going to be in number 2, with number 1 only being Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, you can think of Vechain as being... Think of Vechain as being like the cryptocurrency we think of, like having all these clients and customers and this and that. So that's going to be Vechain. And then think of Bitcoin as being separate. I compare, let's call Vechain a stock, and let's call Bitcoin a bond. Okay? That's how I see it. You can call it gold or whatever, but I see it more as being a bond instead of a currency. Oh, and that's another thing we have for currency. What's going to be a currency? Is it going to be Bitcoin? Is it going to be VEN? Well, maybe VEN with their Thor, but for the most part, I think that the U.S. Treasury is going to launch its own currency. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, that's like 5-10 years down the road if that happens. There's a lot of stuff that has to go on to make that happen, but yeah, I think the Treasury might actual issue something other than the Fed. Anyway, so that's another factor, actual currencies and stuff. VET price prediction in 3 years. Hell, I don't know. It could be 0. It could be, gosh, a lot. And let's see. Amir says VET is the next ETH. More coins will move out from ETH to VET. Yeah, already happening. There's a migration happening going from ETH to other platforms. It's because those are the serious coins that really want to get their stuff done, that aren't just scam coins that say, okay, we looked at Ethereum, great, wonderful for an ICO. I mean, that is its calling as an ICO launching platform for sure. Nothing else competes with it on that aspect of it right now. VET and others are, taking hold for initial launches. So we'll see. I mean, OceanX is just launching right now. But ETH, yeah, I think ETH's days are numbered. We'll see how it goes next year. But after that, I'm really not seeing much for Ether. When I go into the energy for Ether, when I'm doing like remote viewing, I'm getting hardly any blips past 2019. Let's just put it that way. Ether is pretty much, I don't know, inconsequential, let's just call it. Ripple will be second. It very well could be. Ripple and XLM could both be huge. XLM and XRP are the only things I see that actually can compete with VET as far as market cap goes. And keep in mind, we're excluding Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin's like number 1. It's like not even in the same category. So yeah, Cardano is ETH 3.0. That very well could be. If Cardano ever comes and gets their stuff actually done, and so it can be put to use, we could see some big things out of Cardano. And ETH 3.0, keep in mind that VET is calling itself Block X, as in being X.0, so like whatever, because it can be modified and upgraded. So that's the thing. So VET could be Block 4.0, Block 5.0, Block 6.0, Block 7.0, and yeah, so that's how it's designed for long-term business use. But yeah, Cardano, let's go take a look at Cardano real quick. Haven't really looked at them. I haven't paid them hardly any love Let's take a look. See what they're looking like. Okay, that's the month view. Screw that. Let's go to the 45 minute. 45 minutes exciting. Let's go to the day. Well, the 4 hour. How's that? Ooh, that's actually looking interesting. Pretty much took a dump. Has a nice support level here. Right. This line basically got invalidated, so we're starting a new game. And so what are we looking at here? Looking at that, and we're looking at that. Let's scroll in a bit. What do we have going on? That's not a good one. Let's use that one and this one. Move that here. Is that looking good? Overall trend. About the same as Bitcoin. So, you know, if you feel like Cardano, hey, yeah, look at that. You could also call this like a great big old big ass cup and handle. Well, cup, right? Could be like that. Could be longer when they get their stuff done. It could be shorter. So yeah, we have this thing, and it could just, you know, go up. We'll see this area right around here. Time frame: September, October, November. Very interesting stuff. A lot of people are waiting for that. See what happens. But yeah, looks like I might start keeping an eye on Cardano. Looks like it found its basically its bottom here at 29,346 ETH. You know, 0.00029. Let's see what it is in USD. Looks different when it's on USD compared to ETH, right? A little bit more spiky. I think I like the chart for against it USD ETH a lot better than I do USDT, but that's just me. Anyway, yeah, so good luck with however you like Cardano. Best luck to you. If you like it, great. You hate it, whatever. I don't care. Well, I do care. I want you guys to be successful in what you do. So best of luck to you. That's what I would say. I don't care. It means, you know, you guys do what you want. You know, go on your own instincts and stuff like that. That's what I mean. So Manan says Palm Beach letters said 0.265 prediction long term. Long term, I think that's incredibly low. I see it well over, when I say long term, I'm talking 3 to 5 years. I see it well beyond that, okay? Than 26 cents. I see it in the dollars, okay? And I'm being serious about that. Serious, okay, and then my net says, seriously was but shocked. What if, think of this. Okay, we have Bitcoin, okay? Let's say it has 50% of the market. What if Ven had 30%, 25%, okay, of the market, the total market cap, okay? And then what if the market cap was at 3 trillion, 5 trillion? I mean, who knows how much money is going to come in when the institutional investors hit, if that does indeed happen. It could well go beyond the 0.265. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see. It could dump to zero because it's a market, right? You know, but 26 cents. Heck, I'll take that. That's for sure. I'll take that. I'll be happy with that. Let's see what else. Vet or die. Pretty much. Yeah, David G. Vet or die. Yeah, pretty much. time to get serious about things and to look at coins and to really look at what partners do they have coming on. What are they actually doing? Can they sustain what they have into the future? So they have one partner. Okay, great. Let's look at what? Verge. Okay. They had one partner that they had to pay money to. Yeah, that's really great. Okay, and how much use was that? And what happened? You had other coins hop on to that same customer, right? And so they did not have exclusivity. And they had competition hit them. So, boy, that one client that they had, and everybody thought it was going to a moon, it didn't do jack. It's really not a long-term thing. As a short-term pump, it's, watch out for stuff like that. With VET or Vechain, I'm not getting that kind of vibe at all. All of Vechain's thing is like they're saying, hey, you want to join us? And you want us to work on your project? Well, how is that going to increase our ecosystem? Is it going to get us into a new market segment to where we can get more customers and clients? But here's one thing to think of. Think of VET as not being a standard cryptocurrency. Think of it being a blockchain for PWC and DNVGL. Now that's their blockchain that they are offering to their customers and their clients, and they have a ton of them. Okay? Vechain is their project. Think of it that way. They are huge owners in Vechain. They are owners of Vechain, and there's other owners too. But DNVGL and PWC own blockchain, and they have a ton of things, and that's because they see a huge amount of profit to be made from porting their clients onto a platform that can facilitate their needs for those that need that kind of distributed database. And so they're going to say, hey, we have Vechain. Let's take a look at Vechain for you guys. We think it could really help with your B2B, business-to-business transactions, and so on and so forth. That is the biggest thing that one could have. Next biggest thing out there in that realm is IBM with XLM. Everything else is just, we'll see. Stellar XRP comes closest next to Ripple. XRP comes closer than anybody else. So we have VET, then XLM, then XRP. That's how I see it. But yeah, VET or Dime, pretty much basically, can't argue with that. Let's see. Here's one from Amir. Do you see Vechain on top 5 by next year? Yep, I do. Okay, let's see what else we have. Yeah, go VET. Absolutely. Time to get serious on VET. Do your research. Do your research. I cannot... remember that graph I showed you about Lockheed? That's the graph like how I see Vechain, okay? Remember that? What is Lockheed? LMT. LockheedMartin Corporation. They make the stealth bomber. They are awesome. A lot of the UFOs that people see are made by Lockheed planes. Lockheed made the world's safest passenger plane ever, as far as the safety record goes. And what was that called? It was called the L-1011. Check that out, the L-1011. Awesome, awesome plane. Lockheed made that. Lockheed is an awesome, awesome, awesome company, fundamentally wise, and they have some of the best products. Well, it depends on what you consider a product, but in their sector, they're it. They make really cool stuff. They make the Galaxy 5, those big ass carrier planes. Anyway, so here's Lockheed Martin's chart. Okay, so where are we as far? Let's compare this. Where are we at on this chart? Let's say right now, and let's just say this chart is Vechain's chart. Okay, where are we? Right here, man. Does that give you a clue? That's where I think we are. Right now, in this point in time, this is Vechain right here. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's where I see it. Okay? Sorry, I'm not a little bit more bullish, but, hey, look at the partnerships. Look at the partnerships. Don't take my advice on anything except for doing your own research. That's all I can say. Okay, see what else we have going on. And thanks everyone once again for listening. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell, share the video, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. Helps out the channel. I'm almost up to 2,000 subscribers. So excited about that. Very, very awesome. Okay, let's see. ETH needs to solve its scaling issues. Yes, it certainly does. If it doesn't get its scaling issues squared away, it's pretty much dead. There might be some life that gets shot into it if they have a partnership with Zilliqa. That could save them pretty quick. If they don't do that, then I could actually see Zilliqa basically taking over for ETH as being the secondary platform under Vechain. If Zilliqa gets their sharding done, because then you'll have a lot of cool things. I do like Zilliqa still. I still like Zil. Okay, so yeah, ETH is just going around in circles and is having issues. That's one thing to point out about Vechain. They don't have issues as far as leadership, do they? No. They have vision and they're going for it. Yeah, Blockchain X, VET. Yep, that's right. That's right, David G. PBC was, let's see what Han says. PBC was only basing predictions on its weak anti-counterfeit market veil. Very well could be. Yeah, I just don't think people see the magnitude that Vechain has. Same as XLM. I don't think they quite understand the sheer magnitude, and that very well could be to the, let's call it just lack of experience that's out there in the market. Just plain old lack of experience. Yeah, there's some experienced people out there. There's people older. There's people that are awake that can see, but you're not moon boys or girls. You know what's going on in the real world, and we have VET that is onloading, onboarding companies, manufacturing, and who else is really doing it to the extent they are? No one really. Yeah, you hear about a partnership here and there, but few and far between. Nothing to the magnitude of that. But you guys, a lot of people that watch me just love VET. And, hey, love you guys too. So let's see what else is going on. May see a Tesla going around the orbit. We'll see what's going on with Tesla. Tesla has some interesting things going on. That's for sure. Tesla says they might be going private. That would be interesting. Let's see what else is going on. Okay, Trump will treat when dollar falls. Okay, Trump. Let me get some coffee here before I read that. Okay, Trump will tweet when dollar falls. Don't panic. He who puts your money in crypto first will be the new rich like me. Wait for it. Trump makes or breaks with tweets. Yeah, if you follow stuff like that, you could look at Vechain and just say, yeah, there's nothing to see here. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it's a letter that's in between, if you go PQR, it's the letter in between. and you might want to follow that letter. If I say it on YouTube, I could get like banned, if you know what I mean. But you might want to follow and check out some of that Anon thing, that PQR Anon thing on YouTube or wherever. And it might give you some insight on some other things, or actually give you a different perspective of some things going on. And not everything on there is 100% like true or whatever. Always gauge it. But the PQR thing, you might find interesting. Anyway, that's a little bit off topic. Well, not really, because it has to deal with markets and so on and so forth. Like Iran, what's going on with Iran? You know, good grief. Might see something there. Okay, see what else real quick here. I'll answer a couple of these and then I'll bail. There'll be more partnership releases in September. Absolutely. We have that auto thing coming up as well as a few others. So Ven, yeah, they have a ton of NDAs, and so we'll just look to see how many get announced over time. Should be very exciting. And another question. Do I think 100,000 Vechain is enough? Enough for what? Here's what I do. For the coins I like, if you're really liking something, if you think it's enough, enough for what? Is $1 million enough? Is $5 million enough? Is $10 million enough? What is enough to you? Because, hey, look at this chart here. Look at this chart. Do you want to stick it all in Ven when you have another chart that looks like this? Really? Do you want to put all your money into Ven or another crypto? Or another, let's call it, asset class? And let's not forget, when you're doing, if you go to a financial advisor and stuff like that, or you already been, they'll have they might show you a graph that looks like a triangle, okay? And then you have like your different risks, and you have it strategized up here, and then, so you have like your less risky stuff down here, okay? And that's where a bulk of your money is. And then they'll say, oh, okay, well, put in this amount here for the little bit more risky. And then here, some of these are like some of your growth stocks or whatever. And then this portion is your high risk, high growth. And that they'll say, oh, well, that's crypto. Some people have a bulk of their money here. Some are all into crypto. And you know what? That really depends on the individual. And to get that figured out of how much, that's where you go and see a financial advisor. That's not for me to answer, but they'll help you with tools like this and help you to proportion the money that you have, if you have a good one. Because there's some that suck out there. Some that, if anyone tells you to, oh yeah, put everything into what was the big thing a while back, whole life. Screw that. Go find another one. They're like doctors. But as far as like how much do I think it's enough? I don't know. That's a question for you to answer. As long as you have one, you're doing good. So let's see. Moving on. Only invest what you can afford to lose. Absolutely. And that goes for Lockheed or Apple or life insurance, whatever. That's across the board. Real estate, you name it. Only invest what you can afford to lose. Let's see. 250, 205, my target reckon. Just reading some comments here. David G says, supply chain management is arguably the best use case for blockchain. Yeah, I agree with that. Because it has to deal with the manufacturing sector. And that's one thing. A lot of people forget about these absolutely huge partnerships. Remember this guy, Bright Foods? Here's a Vechain. Bright Foods, yeah. Let's go look at Bright Foods on Wikipedia. And yeah, so check them out. Bright Foods products include all these things. And they have the milk, huge in dairy, all right? They're huge in dairy. This is Bloomberg. So what Bloomberg says. It doesn't say much. I don't like Bloomberg. But anyway, Bright Foods is giganormous. And people forget about that. And let's do this. And don't do. I want images. Images. Look. Here's an image. These are all bottles. I took a picture and they whiz by. Zzz. Look at all those bottles. And those could be filled with milk. Those could each have a Vechain tag on them. Each one of them. Look at all that Thor. Look at all that Thor. Boom. Oh, that looks like vodka. Stolichnaya is not bad. Same as Viva Vovo. That's Polish vodka. I don't drink anymore. I used to when I was in college. That's what you do in college. But this looks like bottled water. And I'm not saying, you know, this is like a Vechain thing. This is just some picture I pulled off. But Bright Foods, dairy, bzz, bottles, bzz, cartons, bzz, getting tagged. And these are whizzing by. These are whizzing by. Here's another picture. Okay, so these are the lines. This thing has 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's like a damn superhighway. Zzz. Manufacturing, guys. China's big on manufacturing. Boom. Look at all those bottles that need tags. Even if they're put into a case and the case gets tagged. How many RFIDs? You tell me. You tell me. Ain't never enough Vechain. Yeah. The one thing that's interesting that's with the Vechain community, and you know there's some others too. You know, Stellar is like this as well, where they, for the most part, aren't looking to sell their coin and sell it high, and then go buy Bitcoin with it. No, that's not what they do. For the traders that are actually trading it, they sell it high, and when the price goes down, they buy some more. So the thing is not to acquire more Bitcoin, but to acquire more Vechain or to acquire more XLM. That's what the people in these communities do. It's different than a lot of the other coins where you see people say, oh, I want to maximize my amount of Bitcoin. And yeah, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. But the people in these communities, because of how strong they are, they're into accumulating more of the coin. And that's one thing with the Thor that's coming down the pipe. I mean, Thor is being generated right now. Right now. You if you're holding Vet, then you're generating Thor. And pretty soon you'll be able to cash in that Thor to buy more Vet. And the more Vet you have, the more Thor that you're going to generate. And so that's going to create a self-feeding cycle, which will drive up the price. So we'll see. We'll see. That's one thing very unique to Vechain. Interesting stuff. Okay. Do you guys know about encode? No, don't know about encode, sorry. It's kind of like RFID, but more advanced in Vechain going to use it. Well, I wouldn't doubt it. They want to be the best they can be, so it seems. Let's see. Okay, Samantha S. asks, what do I think about the price of Thor? Interesting thing. Thor is very, very interesting on how it is set up. So let's say we have, how should I put this? Okay, we have a transaction. Okay, so we have a transaction, and that transaction is going to cost, I don't know, 100 Thor. Okay, and let's just say that's Thor is like at a penny. Okay, so that equals $1 total for that transaction. Okay, so now let's say, okay, well, instead of a penny, because Thor is able to float in price on the market, let's say now it's at 0.05 cents. And it's way below that right now. It's like at what, 0.00046 something, 426. I mean, it's like nothing. But let's say it hits 5 cents. Okay, so in total, that transaction, that times 100, should cost $5. Excuse me, $5 for that transaction, right? Now that would be the market price for the client, the one that's that has to burn the Thor. That is not going to be the case. He's not going to say, well, it cost me $1 yesterday and now it's costing me $5. No, the underlying amount of Thor that it takes for, let's say it's going to take, let's say it takes 50 Thor per transaction. Well, no, we just said 100, right? Okay, so it costs 100 Thor per transaction. Well, they can adjust it so it's no longer a transaction fee costs 100 Thor. It could cost 20 Thor. Okay, so then we have 20 times 0.05 still equals $1, right? That's the beauty of it. And that's what's going to be, this amount here is what Vechain is going to manipulate. Okay, they're manipulating this. You could think of that as like an interest rate or whatever. And so they are going to manipulate how many Thor it is per transaction or per clause. Okay, per clause that it costs. Instead of 100, well, yeah, well, that's when it's $1. Well, it's no longer, you know, a penny. It's now 5 cents. So it went up a whole lot of money. So let's go ahead and adjust it so our clients can say, okay, to put this, to put all of our bottles for this day onto the Vechain Thor blockchain, it's still going to cost me $1 out of pocket. Okay, fine, I can live with that. $5, my you know, it just increased too much. But since they can adjust this, that's going to give their customers a stable, knowable amount that they can actually plan on and budget. Because if you've ever been in business, in corporate, budgeting is like a huge deal. Okay, budgeting is a huge deal. But as far as the amount that it can go up, it can hit a penny, it can hit 5 cents, it can hit $1. It just depends. Nobody knows just yet until we actually start seeing the true amount of transactions that hit. But one thing that's exciting about Thor is that the price, the market price, can float. That's very exciting. And one thing is that this is a hugely important topic, because this is one of the things that Ethereum and Neo and others like it that charge something have a problem with, because they don't have it where they can adjust the underlying amount that number per clause that it takes. So what happens is the more they use it, they are stuck at this $5. And then let's say, okay, Ethereum goes up. That means that the amount of basically the Ethereum gas is going to increase as well. And so their transaction costs are going to increase. When a business sees ever increasing costs to use something, they're going to look for something cheaper. Okay? And this is one of the this is like a price paradox when it comes to things. People think that, oh, I'm going to buy Ether and it's going to go to $10,000 and there's going to be all these companies using it. No, it's going to cost them a shitload of money to use, so they're not going to use it. And that's going to keep the prices low. Yeah, so we'll see. You do not have that problem with Vechain because of the Thor. So Vechain can increase well beyond, has more potential to increase than Ethereum could because of this underlying model. And hope that makes sense to you. Unverified rumors. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of unverified rumors. Keep in mind that a lot of my stuff is from remote viewing. Okay, I do a ton of research as well, but also I remote view stuff. And a lot of my stuff, I mean, you can go back and look at my videos and see what has hit and what has not hit. One interesting thing in my videos, let's go here. Go here, go here. I'll show you one to look at. So if you're looking at my channel, yeah, Skycoin. Whatever happened to Skycoin? Remember? That was a video, I called it a shit coin. Yeah, got some grief on that. People didn't like it. But one of my very first videos was on the future of, oh, matter of fact, I actually have it in a link below. It says, must watch Bitcoin future trends, a remote viewing on the future of BTC. This was back on February 1st, and then there's a link. Okay, it's in the description. Check that out. And let's see. Well, I think I'll get off. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like my live stream health is like bad for some reason. It's not looking good. But anyway, I'll do an update. I'm really not sure if you guys can hear me right now or not. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate you guys. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. And have a wonderful, fantastic day. Also, a note on Vechain is, yeah, best luck to all you guys on everything that you hold. Anyway, check it out. Catch you later, guys. Bye.